Hey guys, we received new content along with the ability point changes yesterday in NHL, so we're going to break all those down like we always do. And if any of these new cards with the ability point changes really impacts their value going forward. If you guys have any comments, anything like that, I'll be going through all of my comments and trying to address all of you guys. I know there's a lot of free-to-play players out there that really hate the mid-season change, and I totally understand that. I wish they would have balanced it at the beginning of the game, but unfortunately that just isn't the case, and you receive this balancing mid-game. But I'm not going to just abandon those players. I want to try and help you now. I don't have, when EA makes a change, they let us know just before they do it, and I wish that wasn't the case. Communication needs to be better, and if anything that comes from yesterday, I'm going to do everything I can to try and just harp on them constantly to at least communicate at all, especially in regards to Hockey Ultimate Team, because there's just nothing. The mode is like completely forgotten about by them, and you know, maybe yesterday just pissed me off because you know, I took the heat for them, and that's fine. You know, I asked for the spotlight, and I will handle it when it gets tough. That being said, guys, let's get into the new content. All right, we'll start with the prime times. Always a fun one in the ZDENO CHARA, 6'9", for the most games played among defensemen, 84 overall. Obviously, just like you're not going to be able to use. It's basically just a tree. That being said, I really don't see how you'd be able to use him effectively at this stage of the game. So, you know, fun card. I would love to just try him out for a game and see how bad it is, but it's always fun, or it was always fun playing with ZDENO CHARA back in the day, except for that ridiculous master set they gave us to, I think, at NHL 20. That was a nightmare. CHABOT gets a 90 overall. Man, he is having a phenomenal career. I feel like it's kind of just like underscored because Ottawa hasn't been good for so long, but he has been a phenomenal defenseman ever since he's come into the league. But 6'2" with buzzing as well as spark or workhorse, 91 speed, 90 acceleration, has snipe and heat seeker. Obviously with the changes to the AP limits now, offensive abilities are a little bit more viable. Snipe from a point man, I don't know how that would work, in all honesty. Snipe has been one of the less useful ones, especially with the cost. I'm going to try out Snipe though, since the AP changes, because it isn't nearly as expensive. I just don't know how it would work really with wrist shots from the point, and then Heat Seeker as well. You might be able to combine it with it. I think the offensive changes specifically for defensemen with abilities might add some offense from the back end that might spice up the game a little bit. But let me know you guys are able to use Thomas Chabot. I think this is a good left-handed defenseman for anyone that can't afford a master set player. We've got the 90 Filip Forsberg with buzzing as well as workhorse and wingman. 90 speed, 91 acceleration. He's got unstoppable force and snipe. I feel like we're going to see a lot of snipe for some reason because it's a little bit cheaper now. But unstoppable force, it does help out. It does help out with the ability to hold on to the puck, especially if they're not someone who's like 6'3" and above. Filip Forsberg's got over 90 shot. His hand stats are very good as well. He's going to cost around 40,000 coins, and that's not terrible. The only issue is that there's so many good right-handed wingers, but for anyone that can't afford some of the big-time guys, maybe you don't have a lot of the X factors or haven't gone after one of the higher-rated Stamkoses or Eichel's, this could be an option for you guys. I think it'd be interesting to see. I'm really interested to see Snipe on forwards now, if it does, you know, help out with scoring, but let me know in the comments if you've messed around with it. Next, we've got the 91 RICKARD RAKELL, another interesting card because of the AP changes. Snipe as well. I mean, I feel like there's a common thread happening here, but then he also has close quarters with the reduction down to 8, makes it a little bit more viable as well. Over 90 skating. This is a very similar card to Filip Forsberg, this RICKARD RAKELL. I will say this, that the 91s and above are where you're going to see the most value in terms of just purchasing the card outright, because it is not used specifically in a set. So if you can get him for like 50,000 coins, I think this offers a pretty good value for that. Again, I'm really interested to see some of these offensive zone abilities and superstar abilities with the reduction in shooting ability costs. And then we've got the 95 Auston Matthews with Fly the Zone and Workhorse as well as Thief. He's got All Alone with, even with the reduction in price, is still not worth it, especially on someone with only 91 speed. And then Tape to Tape, 91 speed, 93 acceleration. I think this is, again, I talked about why I think that the Matthews X Factor at the beginning of the year just isn't worth it. Because cards like this is a perfect example. This is going to be a fraction of the cost. And this is a fine centerman. This is a really good centerman card. 99 shooting, 99 hand stats. He's big. He's got 91 faceoffs. His speed is not great, but the one thing I will say is that you don't need as much speed from a centerman, but his zone ability is absolutely awful, which could drag down the price. I don't think that every single card that you spend coins on needs to have an overpowered or what seems to be the biggest zone ability. I think that could allow him to go for even cheaper, but this is a good centerman regardless. Taking a look at the new NHL Moments card, we got JEAN-FRANCOIS Berube 6'1" with Thief as well as Heart and Soul, and he's got Light Work. Light Work did get a bump up in cost. Now it does, the silver one does cost 3. Aggression's down at 67. Again, kind of same situation, even with the ability point changes. A 6'1" goaltender is just not really going to be viable to use unless you're a Blue Jackets fan, which is fine. But yeah, you're going to have a hard time using this. This would be a card that would go right into the sets. Thompson, 6'6" with Workhorse and Distributor as well as Snipe. That's a huge forward. That's one of the biggest forwards in the game. But man, even with these synergies, his skating is just rough. I would actually be interested in running a card like this to see how bad it is if you pair him with someone that's extremely fast on the left-hand side. Like, even if you use base McDavid, let's say, I'd be curious, because once you get in the zone, you're able to hold off everyone on the puck, and it might have some value for players in the lower range. The only issue is that with the arbitrary 87 overalls being used in sets for event collectibles, which I think is a horrible, or a better change than we had in terms of gold collectibles, but overall a really bad system. I would love to see that change a little bit, because 87s are just going to cost like 30,000 coins, and there's no way this card is worth that. Pierre-Luc Dubois, 88 overall, 6'3", left-handed forward, fly the zone and spark, as well as quick draw. Again, another really nice center build at 6'3", 89 speed, 89 acceleration, does have silver quick draw. Quick draw was not impacted. It is still one of the best abilities in my opinion. A really good centerman for anyone that is looking for a decent center. If you're a holiday player or free to play, this would be a good option for you. It's very safe, and I think that it could offer some value. Even if you have a decent team on your lower lines, you could use them for like penalty kills and stuff like that. I think this could be a decent card. Pesce, the 89 overall, was 6'3", right-handed defenseman, has workhorses, buzz, as well as buzzing and stick 'em up. I think stick 'em up becomes a little bit more interesting. It's always been a very good ability. I think that shutdown is far more important in terms of just the game, like in terms of its impact on the game. However, because stick 'em up did not increase, it does offer a little bit more viability in using it. 6'3" with 89 speed, 90 acceleration. That's a great size. The skating at 90 is good as well for his size. So again, for anyone that is looking for a decent right-handed defenseman, this is going to be a nice one, no lie. I think that if he's going for the base minimum of what 89s are going for, you've got a really good card here. Next, we've got the 90 Devon Toews with Spark as well as Distributor, 92 acceleration or 92 speed, as well as Gold in reverse and Heat Seeker. In reverse at 90 speed or 92 speed just really doesn't have much value in my opinion. However, this is a really good all-around defenseman. If you like the way that, let's say, Morgan Riley plays, this is a card that's very similar to him, just obviously not as good, but the same build. So not a bad card here, and again, if he's going for the bare minimum, this could be a decent one. Gomez, the 90 overall with Fly the Zone and Workhorse with Born Leader, now up to 4, as well as Tape to Tape, 91 speed, 93 acceleration. Obviously, this is a little tough because he's much smaller. Like, I would much rather have Pierre-Luc Dubois at 88 than this 90 Scott Gomez. However, if he would be on your first line, Born Leader is still a very good ability, even with the 4 costs. He does have 80 on the faceoffs, which I think is a little low if you're going to use him at this stage. But, you might be able to play him on the wing. In all honesty, I think this card just goes into sets, to be honest with you. Pettersson is jacked up to a 91 with Gladiator as well as Fly the Zone and Spark. He's got Gold Snipe now at 6 and Silver Unstoppable Force. Actually interesting combo here because even though he is 6'2", at 176, I've always found the Elias Pettersson cards get knocked off the puck so easily. That being the case, Unstoppable Force might help out with that. 90 speed, 92 acceleration, great shot, great hands. An interesting card, no lie. And again, because he's a 91, his price will be lower than what it would be if it was higher than that in terms of value. So not a bad card. The 92 Trevor Zegras with Booming Shot as well as Gladiator and Protector. He's got It's Tricky and Ankle Breaker. Ankle Breaker now only costing 6. In my opinion, it should cost 2. So this is still one of the worst ones in terms of ability points. You just don't, the deking at top speed, it doesn't impact the game enough for the insane cost to it. Even at 6, it's just not worth it. And It's Tricky, again, in terms of like online against opponents, guys, that's where I give my feedback to try and help you guys improve and pick players that would help you guys in that aspect. These two are some of the least impactful. However, he's got 93 speed, 93 acceleration with 99 agility. Great shot. ZEGRAS cards are becoming really, really fun. He is a winger, essentially, though, because of his defensive stats. So a good left-handed winger, though, all the way around. And again, I don't know how much he would cost. We'll see if there's any up on the auction house. I'd be curious if he goes for like he would have to come down to around the 70s, I think, before I would pull the trigger. We've got the 94 ARTEMI PANARIN with Gladiator and Booming Shot, as well as Snipe and Close Quarters. Again, two that are now impacted with the ability point changes. 94 speed, 94 acceleration. He's always felt extremely fast. He's got a good shot. He always just gets bumped off the puck so easily. I kind of wish he would have had Unstoppable Force. That'd be interesting to see. His hand stats are maxed, though, and with these new ability point changes, it's not out of the question to activate these two, which could really bump up his shot and scoring ability. Could be a really fun card now with the 94 ARTEMI PANARIN. And then we've got a new Adam Foote, one of the best cards early on in the year, one of the most fun cards early on in the year. 6'2", 94 speed or acceleration with silver shutdown and gold truculence. Even with the ability changes, these are still the best defensive abilities by far, and just extremely fun. Adam Foote was the original Bash brother with Ulf Samuelsson in NHL 22, and for anyone that is looking for a non-master set, even if you're not, this is still a really fun card to try out, I think. Like, he was so much fun. At 400k, that's absolutely absurd, but still looking like a really, really fun card. So guys, that is going to do it for all of the new prime times and as well as event cards. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. And if you want to see a video that talks about what I'm doing with my ability points, let me know in the comments section. Obviously, yesterday was absolutely insane in terms of, just the feedback and whatnot. So if you want to see that, I have no problem releasing a video on that. Enjoy the video, guys. Hope you liked it. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.